Hi, I'm Loren Roosendaal, and in this episode of Transformed, we're going to be talking about how to make sure your learning experience actually works. Oftentimes, when it comes to learning experiences and them surviving first contact with your learners, it's not those things that you don't know that mess you up. It's those things that you think you know, but you really don't. That's where things go horribly wrong. Because it's great to design a wonderful learning experience, but the problem is usually when we're designing learning experiences, we're going to base them on a lot of assumptions. Assumptions that we have about our audience, about what they know, about how far along they are, about how much attention they can pay to this, how interested they are in this, how motivated they are about this. And the truth is, those assumptions will more often than not be wrong. They may be a little wrong, they may be very, very wrong. And it's those assumptions that oftentimes end up basically causing some of the best planned learning experiences to fail once they get put into practice. So what does that really mean? Well, it means that we need to start looking at learning experiences in a different way. We can't just see a learning experience as something which we push out of the door when it's done and then it's ready. That is not how it works. Actually, the learning process for you is supposed to start the moment the first bit of that learning experience goes out the door. And at that point, hopefully, you'll be able to iterate and improve upon the rest of the experience as it gets shipped. What does that mean? Well, that means that if you are currently shipping a learning experience out like a box, whether that's a learning experience that is long running or short running, you should probably be looking at changing your strategy. Luckily, nowadays there are, for example, intelligent learning platforms that don't just teach people the basics of what you're trying to teach them, but also measure what's going on in your population, in your target population. What do they know? What don't they know? Well, if your platform or your learning solution already does this, great. If not, find out ways you're going to figure this out. Because 9 out of 10 times, when I step into a room with a client and they have a learning problem, the real issue will be that they don't quite understand what their people know and don't know. And it's that what keeps tripping them up. That's making their learning experiences not work. So make it a conscious effort to figure out what people actually know. Think about quizzing them maybe in advance of a learning experience. Better yet, have a platform that shows you where are the misconceptions, where are those kind of questions where everyone seems to agree on the same wrong answer, even though it's wrong. Maybe that's an area where we should be expanding our material. That's what we should be covering in a classroom, and not those things which apparently turn out to be obvious to the entire population, but we thought we were teaching them something new. And this is often, the issue, right? As teachers, as professionals, as professors, we think we know the field, we think we know what people should know, we think we know what people don't know. And the reality is oftentimes we are wrong. And it would help us a lot to have that humility to understand that we are often wrong and use that material, use that information to better ourselves. So I think to really ensure that your experience works well in real life, you're going to need to stretch your learning experiences if you haven't already. Start early. Figure out what people already know. Gather data. And then when you need to say, for example, do a classroom session or you need to deploy more material, use that information to adapt everything to your audience. Then you're really getting into the flow of how the learning experience of the future will be built. Then you're helping people get through learning stage by stage with the right materials for them. So that's really the core of today's episode. Just remember that whenever you're building a learning experience, you're not done when you push it out the door. No, step back, push out just a little bit, look at what people know, look at what they don't, and adapt to that. And you'll be well on your way to making your learning experiences work right where the rubber meets the road. And of course, After you're done with that and you've pushed out your learning experience, you're going to want to keep people learning. And you won't be able to do that unless you have a solid learning culture, a culture in your company that fosters learning. For more on that, join me on the next episode as we'll look at how to build that kind of a learning culture in your company, in your organization, that will get people learning basically all by themselves. So be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.